Hey everybody, what's going on? What's happening? Welcome to the show. Welcome to It's the Real to Me. I'm your host, John Kuchar, aka Johnny Fashion. With me as always, he's the biggest, the baddest. What's going on, Big Bad Harmon?
What's going on? I'm channeling Jim the Anvil Neidhart right now. You couldn't see it because I had no light, but I'm wearing a pink shirt and my goatee is in a spike and it's red.
Are you constantly tugging at it? There you go.
Yes.
Your goatee, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goatee.
Nice. Love that, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. The old that's Natty's dad, and you love Natty, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. She actually, when I tweeted out a picture of me wearing her shirt, and she's like, "Oh, channeling the old Jim Neidhart there, I see."
Nice. You get all the good responses on the Twitter.
What can
You're
I
like
say?
you're Twitter king, my man.
Wrestling bitches love me.
They sure do. Oh man. Well, we have an action-packed show tonight. Oh my god, so many reactions. So much more time for reactions with all this stuff going on. Basically, what we're going to do, we're going to go over some recent news concerning Brock Lesnar. We are going to talk about Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura, which happened.
Oh my god!
Mind-blowing. It was pretty awesome. We're going to review the Cruiserweight Classic. So classic, which happened.
That was freaking awesome too.
Yes, right. So much awesome wrestling going on. It's like it's almost hard to keep up. Like I gotta maintain my day job here. WWE, chill out. And then we'll talk Raw a little bit. Just a few things happened on Raw that stood out. So we'll get into a little bit of that. We won't do like a full Raw review or anything. Just some highlights, things we liked, things we didn't like, things that Hulu showed me. I don't know. But anyway, before we get rolling, just a reminder to the listeners out there, you guys can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts from. Always, you can just go to smarkandmark.com. That's our main hub. You can go there, check us out, download. We're hooked up to Podbean there. You can download us there. Just search ISR2M on any of those podcast outlets. So yeah, let's get right into some recent news. Brock Lesnar, he beat the crap out of Mark Hunt for 3 rounds, just smothered him, took him down at will, and just pounded him.
How big a headache do you think Mark Hunt had after that match?
Oh, brutal, man. I mean,
cinder blocks on the side of your head.
Yeah, like nothing really seemed very devastating, but it was just like so overpowering. Like Lesnar just looked like he was wrestling a child, and that's crazy because Mark Hunt is like a big nasty dude, but Brock Lesnar
is the biggest, nastiest dude.
Right. It was just crazy. And
how ripped did he look too? Man, does he look awesome when he cuts weight?
Yeah,
just so shredded.
Yeah, at the weigh-in, I was blown away. I thought he looked amazing, and just intense too. You know, he just goes crazy after making weight. He's the best. He's just like he's the most manliest man I think I've ever witnessed in my life. Like it's just crazy. So
like he's from North Dakota, and that wasn't cold enough for him, so he moved to Canada.
I know. Yeah.
Not wild enough for me. I'm going to move to Canada. I'm going to move to Saskatchewan.
He's just a maniac. So basically the whole fight, he just takes Hunt down at will and, smothers him, holds him down and pounds his face. Hunt, to his credit, never really gave up anything and just kind of took it like a champ because Mark Hunt is a badass as well. But Hunt's, he's well past his prime. He had a puncher's chance. I'll say, that was what was worrying me about this fight for Brock is that, Brock never really has done great against some good strikers, but Hunt, over the years he's kind of lost his accuracy and he's getting a little wild and, but he did have that puncher's chance, but it wasn't going to happen with Lesnar going for takedowns constantly.
Shots too. He took a couple, that kind of glanced off his, shoulder because he was kind of blocking him with his shoulders, and they were hitting him in the face still. I'm like, that's still gotta suck.
Yeah. So
mortal men would be crying.
Oh, exactly. But it's Lesnar. He just doesn't give a shit. So after the fight too, well, actually, I think it was like right before or maybe a couple days before, it was announced that Brock Lesnar's opponent at SummerSlam would be, drumroll, Randy Orton, which I'm ecstatic about. I thought that was a great choice, but and we can get into that in a minute. But what I really loved about Lesnar in the post-fight press conference at UFC is that he brought it up. Like, they asked him, is he going to fight in UFC again? And he kind of didn't give him an answer. His response was, well, I've got Randy Orton at SummerSlam. And I thought that was so cool that he acted like wrestling was almost real. You know what I mean? He's like, well, I've got a tough challenge ahead of me in Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I thought that was so cool. Like, it's just
keep the kayfabe.
Yeah, just to put it right in the mainstream like that. It's great. You don't really see that too much anymore. And with Lesnar, I mean, it's very believable too, because he's so intense. But so he's going to be taking on Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Great idea. Love it. These two guys came up together in OVW, and they've both been around forever, but they never really have had like a big feud. They've crossed paths, but never like in a really good storyline. And I think this is great. It's a great spot for Randy to come back to. Lesnar winning at UFC makes him look even more dominant. So it's going to be fun. I'm not pumped about how they announced it. They just kind of said, here you go. This is going to happen. It's a really shitty build so far. Hopefully they work on it. But
because there isn't a build. There's no build. It's just, this is going to happen.
Yeah, it was like it was announced like a UFC fight. They just said like, oh, and at SummerSlam, Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar. Okay, why is that happening? Like, give us a reason to at least care. I mean, the average fan needs a reason to kind of care besides just like, oh, it's Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. Okay, that's cool. I mean, us being wrestling fans, we know that both these guys have been around forever, and that they've never, like I just said, they never really had like a true big feud, and like they came up together in OVW and all that stuff. Like the average just like guy that watches Raw like probably doesn't know a lot of that. So
right,
I don't know, make them care. Like
15 years ago.
So like make that a point. Like make a vignette about that.
There are kids
do
watching
something.
Raw that don't know the story because they weren't
kids
around
watching
when
Raw.
it happened.
Yeah, they weren't alive. So make that important. That's my only disappointment in this, is that they haven't made it seem important enough. And like I said, for us, I think it's very important. I think it's an important match to have. Both of these guys can bring it. I think Randy too is a guy that's known for carrying a really good match and taking care of his opponent. And I think that's something that
Randy's a phenomenal professional wrestler. He's always so smooth. He always makes everything look pretty good. He sells good. He's got he's got standard moves that he uses, and then he's a big guy too. He's big and strong, so he can pull off a lot of moves and make it look fairly easy. Cage Side Seats today had a picture of Randy. I guess he's down at the Performance Center getting back in ring shape.
Yeah.
Did you see that? No?
I did not see it. No.
They had a picture of his back where he's just been running the ropes, hitting the ropes. And
yeah.
Like, just under his, like, in the middle of his back, it's all scuffed up and scarred like road rash from hitting the rope so many times.
Yeah. Nice.
So he's working his ass off to get back into ring shape, get his win back. And
yep.
When was the last time we saw Randy? Was it against Sheamus?
God, probably. Which time? Against Sheamus for like the 15th time in a row.
Money in the Bank briefcase, and we were like, it should be for the briefcase.
Yeah, I think it was probably a little after that, but yeah, I can't think of when. It's been a long time. But yeah, I think they kind of probably went with Randy just in case Lesnar got a little bit more scuffed up in UFC than than what had happened. Obviously, if he would have got knocked out, and concussed, he wouldn't be able to perform. But if he got a little hurt, they know that Randy's a guy that they can put him in the ring with, and Randy's going to take care of him. He's notorious for doing that. So I think it was a smart move business-wise. And I think it's a good draw, too. I think Randy's always been a pretty good draw. Lesnar, obviously, a huge draw. So I think it makes sense to make this match. I'm excited for it. I'm interested to see how they're going to build it. Have a good idea, but those ideas never pan out for reality. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I kind of wonder, is Brock the babyface now? Is Randy going to come back as the bad guy, the heel, or because he was kind of a babyface before?
Yeah, Randy kind of comes in and out, and I hate babyface Randy.
I'm not a fan of it either. I like asshole Viper Randy.
Yeah, exactly. Legend killer, kind of like
what was just bad Randy.
Yeah,
bad
like
Randy.
the I hear voices in my head thing. Yeah, it's just like when he's just going crazy, and punt kicking people in the head. I love that. That's my favorite Randy, and that's how he should be all the time. And I don't particularly like him on the mic either. I don't think he's great on the mic. I think you just kind of take the mic out of his hand and let his actions speak louder than his words. Kind of a deal. That's where Randy Orton strives. So I don't know. Should be a good match. Moving on. Holy shit. Finn Balor, Nakamura, on NXT. I mean,
dream match.
Wow. Really throw that dream match out there, but it's true. These two guys, clearly both of them fan favorites. Let's do this. Let's do this in stages. Let's talk about the build first, then the match, then the kind of futures for both of these guys. So what did you think of the build, like up to this thing? I mean, it was like a couple weeks, I think, maybe 3 weeks or something. I think maybe not even that long, but the build up to it. What did you think of it from the initial confrontation in the ring?
No, I liked it because, Finn was saying, he didn't know what was next for him. And then Shinsuke came out and said, if he's going to challenge for the title, he needs to go through, the best to get there. And
right.
Who better than the former champion, his friend, and they went at it. Yeah, they went at it in a very gentlemanly kind of way too. They were excited to face each other, and they knew they could put on a good match. So there's no smack talking or anything like that. They just know that they're going to go in there and respectfully beat the snot out of each other.
I love that. I love builds like that as well. I mean, I like, a good face versus good heel is obviously the best, but I've always been a big fan of the rare occurrence of like face versus face or heel versus heel, which you see face versus face more often. But it reminds me of, I don't know. I was watching like back in high school when we would watch like Nitro and stuff. I remember just like some random Nitro where it was like Sting versus Dime Dallas Page. And it was just like both guys were faces. And I was like, this is crazy. Two faces going at each other. And it ended like clean. Like there was no NWO breakup. It was just, I can't remember who won, but it was just, one of them was the champ at the time. I want to say Sting, and Sting ended up retaining. And it was just a very gentlemanly, match. And it was great. And so from then on, I've always liked kind of face versus face. And so that's why I was really pumped about this match. I mean, obviously because Finn and Shinsuke are both two of my favorite wrestlers right now. Two of my favorite my son's favorite wrestlers right now. And so it was fun to watch it with him. But the build I thought was great. The interviews and stuff that they taped were great. They were just both being respectful and saying like that they fought each other before in Japan, and it was fantastic. I thought it was a nice build. Leading up to the match, or during the match, this was probably my favorite Finn Balor match. I'm a big Finn Balor fan, but I've been pretty like his matches.
We've been a
you know
little
what I mean? I don't
nitpicky
think
with his stuff because his matches tend to be a little formulaic. You know, you can tell when stuff's going to happen. But this match, he was all over the place. He was busting out multiple sling blades. He was doing like double stomps all over the place. He was just he was
Pele kicks left and right.
He was the best Finn we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think that it definitely helped that there were literally no other matches like on, at least that I can recall, on NXT. I feel like there was like, it was like a short something, and then it was Finn and Shinsuke for like a ridiculous amount of time. Whereas before, like every Finn match has been like versus Joe. I feel like Shinsuke and who was there? Shinsuke and like Sami Zayn, maybe. Yeah. And, you know, it's just like that stole the show, you know, so he's always had like another match that like, so with this kind of just being them, it was, I almost like, it's one of those matches where so much happened that I can't even recall really very specific spots. It was like a whirlwind of just awesomeness that I was like, oh my God. It's kind of like you were saying, like there were just so many, a million Pele kicks, like all kinds of stuff. Shinsuke was brutal with the knees, as always.
Knees and just kicking them across the chest, and it was awesome. And then the hands they were throwing, it's like they really punched each other in the face there.
Yeah. What I did like is that it was, you know, they kind of told the story too. Like Finn like really worked the leg of Shinsuke, and then like later, like after he would kick Finn, he would like
favorite and then like fake Finn out later on and kick him with that leg.
It was great. It was just great storytelling. I was like, man, these two are just fucking professionals. You know, it was amazing. I loved it. I thought it was. So obviously,
you know, I find it fitting that Shinsuke's first match in NXT was against Sami Zayn, because it was almost a passing of the torch. Because remember, we were talking about how when you showed somebody a match from NXT, you were showing them a Sami Zayn match. You know, it was either the Cesaro match or the Neville match or the KO match. And now when you show them an NXT match, you're going to show them a Shinsuke match. You're going to show them the Zayn match or the Aries match or this Finn Balor match. They're just two. I can't wait to see them fight again, because they're just two of the best. All of these guys from NXT, I just can't believe Triple H is doing this. It's just so fucking amazing.
Oh, and just like, and these guys are answering the call too. These guys are putting on blitzkrieg matches. Like, it's just insane. The match quality that we're getting right now compared to, you know, a couple years ago, we were all just like yearning for something like this to come along, and it did. And Triple H put it together. So, I mean, obviously, hats off to him. The guy knows what he's doing. So Shinsuke gets the win over Finn in a ridiculously hard-fought match. You know, they embrace after they shake hands. They bow to each other. It was great. I mean, everything was perfect about it. What does the future hold for both of these guys? My personal opinion, I think Finn moves up and Shinsuke stays down. I think Shinsuke, you know, he made it clear what he wants to do, at least storyline wise. You know, he said he wants to be the champion. So I think he's the guy that takes it off of Joe. Joe will probably move up after that. And Finn, I think, is on his way. The crowd's been chanting, "Thank you, Finn," for like every appearance that he makes for like the last couple of weeks. So I think it's no surprise that he's on the way out and he's on to the main roster pretty soon. So what do you think? Do you agree with that, or do you think they're going a different route with those two guys?
Yeah, I think he's going to either be drafted or just show up on one of the shows pretty soon.
Right on. Yeah. Makes sense.
If he doesn't get drafted, I think he goes to whatever show the club is on.
Yeah. Oh boy. Let's see. What's next? Anything else? Any more thoughts on this match? Because I thought it was just there's nothing else I can say about it besides it's just phenomenal. If for anybody out there that hasn't seen it yet, like stop what you're doing, and go watch it. Like fake a cold, go home from work and watch this match because it's amazing.
Yeah. My girlfriend, she's watched Raw with me, and she's now seen a couple of NXTs in the Cruiserweight Classic. She's like, I like this. These shows better. She says they're faster and they got more moves and it's less talking. And she's like, it's more wrestling. I'm like, yeah, it's a completely different thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great, man. It's really like that's why I show, like when I show people matches, it's like I'm not showing them, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Like nothing against that match.
Showing an authority promo,
Right, exactly. I'm not showing them like a 40-minute John Cena promo. Shit, man. Did you see him at the ESPYs, by the way? Speaking of John Cena, I don't even have that in my notes to talk about, but I just thought about it.
I saw a couple clips. I see he represented the Boston area pretty well and shit all over Goodell.
Yes, I like that. I thought his opening monologue was pretty good. There were some moments that had me cringe, and then there were some moments that made me laugh. So some of his jokes were pretty good. I found it weird that that's just what he was doing. I mean, I know that's what hosts do, but he was like, all right, let's hear some jokes. And I'm like, okay, John Cena's just going to tell some jokes. That's random. But he did a great job. I mean, you think about how hard of a job that is. And Cena did a pretty amazing job, I thought, for being a professional wrestler. Anyway, that's just a little side thing I just thought about.
He goes out in front of, 20,000 smarky know-it-alls every week. And wherever it was, a hall full of sports nerds, he's just gonna play to his strengths and he gets over, so.
Yeah. I thought he was a little try hardy at times, but it was okay. It was good. All right, let's see. Back to the format. The Cruiserweight Classic happened immediately after Finn versus Shinsuke, and
so much good wrestling in one night.
Yeah, holy shit, man. This whole thing was nuts. How good, first of all, can we just give mad props to how good Mauro Ranallo and Dan O'Brien were?
That was the best commentary I've heard since Jim Ross left.
It was so good.
Since Jim Ross left and Stone Cold Steve Austin retired.
Yeah, it was so good. They played off each other well. There were times where they talked over each other a little bit, but they quickly just played it well.
They're so enthusiastic.
So enthusiastic.
Daniel Bryan he's technical, but not in a condescending way. Like he picks out little things that you probably wouldn't think of and explains them. Like he was worried about, guys being jet lagged and dropping weight and just all kinds of stuff. And, they've never worked in a ring like this, or, they're not used to these ropes and they're doing these moves. It's like, he's really thought this all out. He really wishes he was in there.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of blew me away is that he's been there. He's done all of this. He started out where those guys did, and he made it to the mountaintop and back down. And he's so excited for just to see moves. I mean, not just regular moves, but these guys are pulling out all the stops, and he was getting so excited. He's just screaming at one point. Right during right during the very first match, him and Ranallo both yell, shooting star press, simultaneously, and they jump out of their seats and just yell it. I mean, it was it was great. They said it in unison. It was amazing. I loved every bit of it. I tweeted them both and just said thank you because I thought it was just incredible.
Oh, if those two could become the permanent SmackDown announcers, I would watch SmackDown and forget Raw ever existed.
Yeah, I know. Oh man. Well, let's get into the first match real quick. There was 4 matches in this kind of in the first round on this side of the bracket. First match was Grand Metalik versus Alejandro Saez, and that's Alejandro is the guy that did the shooting star press that they went berserk over. And for a big dude,
yeah,
I mean,
it was a running shooting star press off the apron.
Apron.
He jump up to do that either. He just like ran forward and flipped. That was pretty nuts.
Yeah, and he's a bigger guy too for the like he's kind of at the
Yeah, he had dropped 30 pounds to make weight.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty impressive. Metalik, the holy shit, that guy was
what balance, huh?
Yeah, his balance was off the charts.
He's
just
walking the ropes. And how about that dive he did outside the ring? He jumped up and like hit the second rope?
Yeah, he jumped from the second rope. It was crazy. Like I don't know how he didn't like clip his knee off the top rope, but he just
it was amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just a complete spectacle, that guy. It's interesting to see like, and we can maybe we'll talk about this after we run down all the matches, but it's interesting to see who they keep around. Maybe they sign some of these guys for the brand split, but we can talk about that after. But Graham Metalik was just like,
that's another point.
The very first thing that I thought of.
Daniel Bryan is so excited because these guys, like you said, were like him, the smaller guys, and now they're getting their own friggin', show. Really?
Yeah, totally. Metalik ends up taking it over Alejandro Saez. So Alejandro, see you later. Bye-bye. You're eliminated. One and done.
Good showing though. Good showing.
Yeah, good showing. That's the thing. Like his
facials were a little hokey at times, but
yeah, his selling was a little over the top. But I think you're going to get that with these guys because they're eager. They're trying to, make a name for themselves. They're trying to stand out. I mean, I thought that guy was great. Like I said, his selling was a little over the top, but he was fine. I mean, he does a shooting star press off the apron. I mean, that stands out. Like we're talking about it now. Ronaldo and Daniel Bryan like went crazy for it. So I mean, like that's something that's notable.
He sold Metalik's finisher pretty good too. That like fireman's carry into a driver of
Jesus. Oh my God. You texted me that today. Like, oh my God, I thought he's dead. And I was like, yeah, I quoted, Aussie Man from Aussie Man Reviews. I was like, God, fuck me, dead. I just screamed that out at that moment. I was like, jeez. It was great. So like I said, Metalik gets the nod. He's going into round 2. Second matchup on this card is Cedric Alexander versus Clement Petit, very French. Petit there. I think his last name's funny. But another
good match. Yeah.
Yeah, good match. I like Petit's like his he
wrestled like a big guy.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, like his pre-match like kind of taped little promo was like, I don't do flips, like I don't do all this stuff, like I wrestle, like, and I was like, shit, man. All right, let's see what you got. And the guy was great. He was very technical, very sound. I thought he was fine. He didn't like blow me away. Like I don't really remember like a ton of his moves, but Alexander is a freak of nature. That guy just put on like a high flying clinic.
Yeah. Every time I blinked, he was jumping off a rope.
Dude, the hang time on that clothesline off the top. Or off I think it was a springboard, maybe. He was like, I thought he was like hanging from the rafters. He was up there forever. It was crazy. That guy has, definitely NXT potential, like mad potential, maybe even like main roster potential.
Oh, yeah.
He was great. I liked him a lot. He ended up taking it over Batout, and so I mean, there's not much more to say. I thought both guys were good, but Cedric Alexander really stood out to me, not only in this match, but among all these 4 matches. I thought he was a guy that I was like, holy shit, that guy's ready. Like that guy, sign that guy right now. So
yeah, he was like challenging for the title in ROH a couple years ago. So
nice, cool. Let's see. Next match up is Ho Ho Lun versus Araya Davari. This was my least favorite match on the card.
It was probably the sloppiest of the matches, but I think it has 2 very young green guys in it. Ho Ho Lun's from Hong Kong, China, where they're just starting to get into wrestling. They said he traveled around a bit to learn, but yeah, he's very, very new into this right now. So
yeah, I mean, and he was good. I thought he had good showmanship. That was what I took away from this match a lot. Like
he played to the crowd very well.
He did, yeah. I was not a big fan of Daivari in this match, to be honest with you. I thought his selling was at times over the top, and then at times not enough. He was kind of all over the board for me. The timing, his timing was a little off. The way he like took
it was always
drop kicks.
Yeah, there was always a delay, it seemed.
Yeah, like instead of kind of like selling the last move into the last second and then taking the drop kick, it just seemed like he was like standing up waiting for the drop kick to come, and then he would like brace himself with his arm up to kind of take the impact of the drop kick, and it looked very, very scripted. I mean, obviously we all know what it is, but
it was like watching a 180-pound Ryback.
Yes. Ouch. Good Ryback dig. We can say that. He's not around.
He already blocked me on Twitter. Fuck him.
Yeah. But I think I think Daivari definitely needs some work. I think Ho definitely needs work too, but I think he's a little bit more ready than Daivari. But I don't see either one of these guys maybe sticking around. But I had high hopes for Ho.
I could see Ho being in NXT, being like one of those guys that's there for like 4 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
And you just watch him get progressively better because he's a young guy. He could come in when he's in his 30s and he'll finally have it.
Yeah, I definitely going into this whole tournament, I definitely had my eye on him to see how he was going to do, and maybe he actually wins this match, so he advances in the second round. So maybe he has a better showing in the second round, and it could just be pairing up too. Maybe I don't know who he's going against in the second round.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we know.
But we'll see. Yeah, I don't know yet, but anyway, maybe it'll be a better match. But and then the last match on the card, Sean Maluta, who is in some weird way related to
just Samoan. You can just say Samoan. That's all you need to say.
He's Samoan, so he's related to everybody except for Samoa Joe. Anyway, so Sean Maluta,
Samoan, not related to any.
Yeah. So Sean Maluta versus Kota Ibushi. Big debut here. Big cheer for Ibushi. And well deserved, obviously. Guy's one of the biggest wrestling superstars in the world. And
that match, I mean, I know they had 20-minute time limits, and I'm not sure how long that match went, but it was worth every second.
It was very good. It was a very good match. Ibushi made Maluta look like $1 million. And that's not discrediting Sean Maluta. I thought he was very good, actually. I thought he was very seasoned, it looked like. There's one fuck up, like that flip on the outside. It looked awkward. It worked out okay, but everybody was kind of like, what?
I'm not sure if he was supposed to flip over twice.
Yeah, it seemed very scary.
But you know what? The announce team covered it up beautifully.
They were professionals. They were great.
They were saying, he's the underdog. He has to try stuff that maybe he doesn't even think he can land,
Yeah. That's amazing. Like, who thinks of that? Like, Michael Cole isn't giving you that.
No. That's what Daniel Bryant and Mauro Ranallo give you. They're real insight. They care about this stuff. So they want you to believe like they do.
Yeah. I mean, JBL is just yelling Big Match John and Big Red. That's all he's doing. He's not giving you any of that in depth. For God's sakes, I don't want to skip ahead to Raw, but since we're talking about the announcers, did you hear freaking JBL call Apollo Crews Titus the other night?
We're just going to have to label the black guys for him.
I cringed so hard. Like, he said it was during the Battle Royal, and he's like, I don't know if that's such a good idea by Titus. And then, like, I was like, wait a minute. I don't even think Titus is in this match. I'm like, who is he talking about? And then minutes go by, and somebody must have told him. And he goes, I meant Apollo Crews, not Titus back there a few moments ago. It's like, yeah, no shit. Oh, what a maniac. You work with these people. These are your coworkers. You should know these guys.
You see these guys probably 3 days a week,
Yeah. Don't just look at the color of his skin, asshole. Like, look at his face. Know him. God, what a dick. I couldn't believe that. Anyway, back.
He probably still calls Jimmy and Jay like 1 and 2. He's like, hey,
probably. Oh, I know. But all right, back to the CWC here. Maluta, Ibushi. Let's see. Ibushi gets the win, obviously. Although, man, there were some close 2 counts here. That where it looked like
the bot kick that Maluta did. Ibushi sold that like his head was blown off.
Dude, that guy,
awesome.
holy shit. Like, that's probably the thing that I loved most about Ibushi is that his selling was top
his
notch.
head snaps back and he does like a freeze frame for just a second.
Yeah.
So you can see that he looks like he got his face blown up.
Yeah.
His facial expressions, his mannerisms, everything was so good.
Yeah, you could just tell that he's just one of those guys that he doesn't have any doubts in himself. He's just been doing this for a long time. Everything was just automatic. Like, it was just like, oh, time for a suplex. Yep, I got you. Suplex now. There was no hesitation. It was just boom. And so, I mean, obviously, no secret. That guy is super ready to be signed. They should sign him. It'll be a huge mistake if they don't lock him down to come into NXT. It's
going to make Brian Kendrick look really good when he beats him in the finals.
Yeah, that's true. I love Brian Kendrick. I think Brian Kendrick is just a really cool person. And I'm not like, oh, he's so cool. I just think like he's just a laid back kind of cool guy. He's been around forever. I'm excited to see.
He's laid back now. He was a friggin' animal before, though.
Brian Kendrick?
Yeah, he was always just so wild, like crazy, like I'm the best. He was just so like full of himself. The Brian Kendrick was one of my favorite people to like hate.
Oh yeah, well he was just kind of like, yeah, with like the leather jackets and stuff, and then like he was just like so cool and hey man, like it's all good. Like, but I just like him as a person. I love his when they were doing the bracketology thing, and he kind of came up to the booth and like talked with Daniel Bryan and Morrow. Like, I thought it was just a cool look at like a real person.
He kept referring to Bryan as Dragon. Hey, Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's how long that guy's been around.
Dating back to the American Dragon days for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I hope you guys far.
If you guys want to know more about Daniel Bryan and Brian Kendrick, read Daniel Bryan's book, because he's got some really good Brian Kendrick stories in there. Yeah,
one of my favorite Brian Kendrick moments is on Colt's podcast where he's like talking. It's one of my favorite episodes of Art of Wrestling and I've listened to it like numerous times. It's just like there are days where he like he would go to a show, but if he wasn't working, like if he just didn't have a match that night or anything, he would basically like just go up in the rafters and like jerk off and get paid, like so much money just to jerk off in a bathroom somewhere, or like up, in the rafters or whatever where nobody can see him. He's like, yeah, I'm just getting paid to jerk off. The guy's the best.
Or he's trying to stay awake driving, so he's just jerking while he's driving. Yeah,
jerking off, throwing up, like. I know, he's great. God, he's awesome. I hope he does well in this tournament. They'll probably push him and Tajiri too, just because they're former WWE guys. So
did they sign those guys outright again?
I don't know. I know for a while, even after. Well, actually, I don't know about Tajiri. But I know Kendrick for a while was like in NXT, and he wasn't always wrestling. He was like training, and I mean, he trained Eva Marie a lot, and then he was also working with other guys. And I think he might still be doing some of that role if, during this whole bracket, just because he's such a good teacher. But I don't know if
that he said to Triple H, "Hey, you got to get me into this tournament because I don't want people to think my last thing in wrestling was teaching Eva Marie to do this sliced bread number 2."
Yeah, sliced red. Oh, she's the worst. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, probably. He looks great though. Like he looks like skinned down. I mean, obviously they cut weight, but I know like his last stint in NXT when he was actually still wrestling, he looked a little soft, but he's like slimmed down a lot. So he looks good. But
yeah, super long hair and the goatee. He looks like wrestling Jesus.
I know. He looks like friggin' roadie for Guns N' Roses or something, but Anyway, Ibushi takes this match, and that's pretty much it. So we got Ibushi, Loon, Alexander, and Metalik advancing, and everybody else going away. I'm sure they'll sign Maluda, maybe Saez. I don't know about Patu and Davari. I don't know. We'll see. Maluda is definitely a shoo-in with his heritage of the Samoan Usos and Roman Reigns tie-in.
That French guy there, he was pretty good. I mean,
yeah, he was forgettable though. You know, like he was a good wrestler. I mean, maybe they'll just use him as like a good hand or something, but I don't know.
He can be a carpenter.
A carpenter. You love that term, don't you?
I do.
Thank you, Stan Hansen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So a few things. Let's get on to Raw. Just a few things on Raw that we can talk about. The big announcement. You know, Vince was coming to town. He was going to announce who was going to be in charge of SmackDown between Steph and Shane. And well, the surprise was that he picked Shane to run SmackDown. Shane's jumping around the ring, celebrating, almost like hugging Vince. Like it was just a weird moment. So I, super pumped about that. But then in return, he says that Steph is going to run Raw. So, which I didn't think any of it was too unpredictable. Like it seemed, very straightforward.
Vince
like
giveth and Vince taketh away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and just in general, I think when this whole brand split started, it was like, oh, okay, so Steph's going to take one and Shane's going to take another. And then I think that they just needed to really fill time for weeks, so they had them work together and stuff. And I don't know. This didn't surprise me one bit that Shane got SmackDown and Steph got Raw. I was like, oh yeah, that seems about right. So. But still, I think Shane at the helm in SmackDown will do really well. Shane himself is a pretty big draw, so if he's on the show, every week, and it's live, it'll be pretty awesome. I think they'll get some good viewership. And then Steph, obviously, on Raw with the ties with Triple H and stuff. We'll see. The kicker is that they both have to pick general managers for next week. They have to pick it next week for whatever the rest of their reign there.
And Shane has already tweeted out he's already got his signed and ready to go.
Nice. And obviously the big rumor. Yeah, rumor is. You want to tell it? Go for it.
It could be DB, Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan. That would be amazing. That'd be great, man. They're trying to get him involved in everything, it seems. I mean, he's money, man. He's great. Why wouldn't you have Daniel Bryan?
Cut it rebanging time, but
yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Maybe they've already sealed the deal. Who knows?
Maybe.
But and then I don't know who Steph's gonna get. Maybe my first thought was Triple H, but then I was like, well, he's got like all kinds of other shit going on. I think he's like he's already like
too important for that.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see who Steph chooses. There's a plethora of options out there. I know some people were saying Vicky Guerrero, maybe. I'm not so hot on that idea. She was okay. She served a purpose, but she was not. I don't think for the long haul. I don't know. Who knows? It's gonna be somebody weird and like conniving like Steph. So I think that's why Vicky's name was kind of tossed out there.
It's gonna be Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson. God, what is she up to nowadays?
Being hot still.
Oh, I'm sure. God. Yeah, she's ridiculous. Man. What else happened on Raw?
For a second about the hubris of the McMahon family? They put on Dana Brooke and Sasha Banks for the final match of the night, which should have ended the show, but it doesn't. A 20-minute McMahon promo does.
Yeah, I know.
They're getting there.
It was weird.
They're very close, but God forbid the McMahons not be the focal point of a show for once.
I know, man. It's been like that forever. Ever since Vince really like got into the spotlight with Stone Cold, it's like that's that's been it. It's the McMahon show. I mean, in some way or another, whether it's him or Shane or Steph or Linda, for God's sakes, she was involved for a while. That's what it is, man. It's too bad because, not to say that the McMahons haven't earned it and earned the right. I mean, it's their company. They can do whatever they want with it. But man, these superstars that bust their ass every day, like, you can't tell me that, Charlotte and these gals like don't deserve to like main event a friggin' Raw every once in a while. I mean, it's Raw, it's on every week. Like, give them a couple. Cut it out.
They should do at least. They should be, headlining a show like once a month.
Right, exactly. I mean, make it seem important. And we don't have to go on a rant of the women's division like we always do, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, these women can all wrestle. Most of them can talk pretty well on the mic. They're intriguing characters. Make it a main event, for God's sakes. It doesn't have to be like, so you don't have to constantly reference like, oh, the night Trish Stratus and Lita headline main evented Raw. It's like, okay, that was great and monumental at the time, but that can happen more nowadays.
Yeah, it was 12 years ago. Thanks.
Yeah, like we can do more of that, and everybody would be perfectly fine with it. Like, I'd love to see, a Charlotte versus Sasha Banks main event on Raw. Yeah. Close out the show with that. That'd be a great match. Close it out.
This Natty Becky Lynch feud could have happened on the main event of Raw.
Yeah, close it up.
And they can do. I know we're starting to do it, but
I know we are. I know we always do.
You can do more than one woman segment in a 3-hour show.
I don't know if you can. I don't know. Jesus, NXT does it, but they only have an hour. So I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. So the Wyatt's New Day thing happened. How do you feel about this? I'm kind of up in the air about it. I want to like it really, really bad, but I kind of don't a little bit.
You know what? I liked it right up until the ending.
Yeah.
If I wanted them to take Xavier Woods and do something with him, brainwash him, kidnap him. I wanted there to be a result. There was no result to that entire thing.
Yeah, and the whole thing was left very just wide open. Like, okay, did they get kidnapped? Did they not? Like, what the hell's going on here? This doesn't make sense. Like,
now
if the New Day
just in the ring, okay,
right? This doesn't make any sense. But if the New Day just show up on Raw, like, what the hell was that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, my like
they
interpretation
need to show up on Raw, like all twitchy, like looking over their shoulder and stuff. Like where are they? Where are the Wyatts? Are they right there? Are they behind that curtain? Are they around that corner? They need to be all twitchy and stuff, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Or like Xavier Woods is like changed, somehow. Like he's a little off and they don't know why. And it's like I don't know. It seemed like a lot of production value put into something that doesn't really mean anything. It reminds me of like old WCW days where they would dump just millions of dollars into like renting a helicopter and chasing Ric Flair around in a limo instead of just doing
bar to bar to look for Scott Hall.
Right, exactly. Like all this crazy shit for no payoff at all ever. This kind of seems like what's going on here. And let's not totally dismiss the complete imitation of Final Deletion with all of this. I mean, it has to be. I would find it extremely hard to believe if they were like, no, we had nothing to do with trying to mimic Final Deletion. This was our own creation. No, it's not. Come on, you guys saw Final Deletion. You tried to recreate it, but you thought, okay, well, we've got a bigger budget and we have a better production team. We could make it better. But the thing that made Final Deletion so amazing is that it was terrible. Like, that's the beauty of it, is that it was so bad that it was good.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's so amazing. You haven't watched it yet? God.
No, I watched like the first one where he like challenged him.
Oh,
the airplane hangar, whatever the hell that was. His
Yeah.
garage.
Dude, do yourself a favor and like tomorrow, just watch Final Deletion, and it'll all come together for you.
Okay.
It is the whole this whole Wyatt's New Day going to the Wyatt's compound is a complete ripoff of Final Deletion. Just keep in mind what you got to keep in mind about Final Deletion is that when I first started like watching this whole saga unfold, I was like, oh, come on, Matt Hardy. This is what you've this is the worst. And then it just kept happening. And I'm like, wait a minute, maybe he's just doing this on purpose. And then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. He's just clearly like doing this as like parody, and it's amazing. And he knows what he's doing. Like, he's not an idiot. He knows that this is amazing.
He's crazy. He's not an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, but he knows what he's doing. Like, this is like trauma film. It's so bad that it's good. It's just amazing. Just watch it and you'll see exactly what the comparison is. My whole thing with this Wyatt's and New Day thing is like, why did New Day even go there? Like, they could have just not gone there. Like, why did they go there? They had no reason to go there.
They were going to shoot positivity all over the place.
What the fuck does that mean? Okay, I guess. I like that they've kind of.
That's what Big E said. He was thrusting wildly and saying they were going to spray positivity all over the
Gross. Anyway, basically nobody walks out of here a winner. New Day goes there, and it's a pretty solid like stalemate between the six guys.
I kind of thought the Wyatts got the better of them, but they didn't finish.
Yeah, I mean, they might have gotten the edge up, but yeah, if New Day is just able to walk away, then
the Wyatts destroyed more cars.
Oh man, when Braun like shouldered into the windshield of that car, it was like a 50s truck. Those things were made out of steel. Yeah, I was like, oh holy shit! I was like, the guy just shattered his shoulder.
He caved in the window and like the pillar and everything. Yeah, he's a large man.
Yeah, dude, he's so big.
Like Big E is a big guy, but he's only like 5'9", 5'10" tops.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman's 6'7", 6'8". He's a fucking giant.
Strong Broman. Yeah. Strong Broman's awesome.
New face of sex.
Oh, gross. Yucky. Oh man. So that happened, and we don't know what's gonna happen next with those guys. I really would expect that. Once I saw all the the lights come on of like the fireflies, which meant like that the woods are just full of other Wyatt members. I was like, okay, well, New Day is doomed. So like they can't come back. And if they do, they're going to be totally like messed up. So that's why I'm saying like, it'll be complete bullshit if on Raw, they just show up like, oh, we went and survived a fight. Like, what are you talking about? There's like hundreds of people there that could have just gotten you. Like,
yeah, they let you go.
Yeah, but there's really no. I don't know. I didn't like the ending of it. And you know what else was kind of bothersome during this was the effect in the filming that they just kind of layered over it. Like, it was very flickery and like almost in a weird way Blair Witchy a little bit. I don't know. It just seemed distracting. I was like, you don't need to do that. Don't do that. Just
a lot of jump cuts and
it was like, just film it like a fucking movie. Like, you guys have this awesome production value. Just do it. Just use it. Make it look nice and clean and crisp. Like, I get that you guys like to do that with the Wyatts and like do all like these crazy quick cut like bug crawling on the screen kind of things, but just make it easily viewable. I didn't like that layering either. So anyway, what I did love that happened on Raw was the Rollins report.
Oh, that was funny as hell.
Holy cow. I was losing it during the Rollins report. The cuts on that were hilarious. Just like Roman Reigns' answers, which are, obviously taken from other interviews. It's so fucking funny. Like, sometimes he's holding the belt, sometimes he's not. It's clearly just from an array of other interviews. It was just the best. It made me laugh really, really hard.
Yeah, it was perfect.
And Seth, man, Seth Rollins just he was just such a good actor throughout the whole thing. That's the guy that you should have in your movies. That guy is great. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I loved it. In the whole Rollins report, like it looked like, like the news, like the Jon Stewart thing, like coming up. It was just great. Everything was tied in perfectly. It was the best written segment on the show, I thought, easily, hands down. It was fantastic. Yeah. And then Ambrose coming out. Ambrose's promo was electrifying, I thought. This was my favorite segment on the whole show because everything was good. Rollins' report was fantastic. Ambrose was top notch. I love that.
The best Ambrose in a while, I think.
Yeah, like he kind of put away like the goofy side of things and like explained why he's that way, and then just like he showed that he could just turn it off and then turn this other side onto him, like just like that. And I loved when he said, he's been the guy that's just been there doing this. He's reliable. He's not getting injured or trying his hand at some other sport. Like the whole getting injured thing was like obviously towards Seth, and then like the trying your hand at another sport, obviously towards Brock, and then like said something about I remember he said something about getting busted, and it was like, and obviously it was referring to Roman Reigns, and it was just such a good written promo, and he pulled it off perfectly, and he was just, his mannerisms were great, getting in and out of Seth's face, holding the belt like awkwardly, just casually like throwing it around, and just it was just fantastic. He's the man. Anybody that's been like, oh, I don't know if he can carry the belt, like he can. He definitely can. And not so much for his wrestling, but just for his persona and his mannerisms, the way he holds everything, like the way he talks, the way he even like holds the mic is different and cool.
Oh yeah.
It's just, he's the best. I think he's so good right now. I'm interested to see what the future holds for him. I want to see him hold that belt for a little while. I think it would be a complete cop-out if, this triple threat match ends with Reigns winning. I think would be a huge cop-out. The guy that hasn't been there for a month just got busted. He comes back immediately and wins. And then kind of Rollins too winning, as much as I'm a huge Rollins mark. Like, I don't know. I want Ambrose to hold this for a while. I think Rollins, just came back from injury. He hasn't quite earned it yet. You know what I mean? Like, give Ambrose a chance to have it. So that's my kind of take on it. What about you? What do you think about this?
I completely agree with you. Rollins will be champion again, but it'll be in time. I mean, there's him and Ambrose are just so good. That whoever is champion is just going to be, chasing the other guy. The other guy's going to be chasing the champion, and it'll work forever, I think.
Yeah.
They're just so talented. You can't get away from them.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's everything that the fans kind of wanted for like the last year, like a Shield triple threat match is just amazing to me. And it's too bad that it's going to happen at Battleground, which kind of leads me to believe that there's going to be some shady business. I feel like if this was like a SummerSlam, they'd just like follow through with like the full match. But since it's at like a Battleground, I feel like there's going to be some interference, or it's going to end in a dusty finish or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. We'll probably talk about that next week or something on our previews and prediction show, but we'll see what happens. But what else happened on Raw? Anything else on Raw that you wanted to talk about? I know KO had a match, right? You always love talking about KO.
Yeah, he had a match against Cesaro. He kind of debuted a new finishing move on Raw.
Yeah, I somehow for some reason missed it. I don't know why, but you were telling me about it, and I missed it.
Like a torture rack into a swinging neck breaker. It was pretty cool. It won the match. So
he put Cesaro away with it.
Yep. Cesaro was on the top turnbuckle, and Kevin Owens, hit him or whatever and got him into the torture rack, carried him over to the center of the ring.
Yeah.
Just kind of, kind of did like Brock does with an F5, but swung him out onto a neck breaker. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Nice. Huh. I'll have to go back and watch it. I don't know how I missed it, but I missed it somehow. Cesaro's been taking the losses lately, hasn't he? He's been kind of
yeah,
that's too bad.
And then Sami Zayn came out and beat the crap out of him.
Yeah. You know what else happened is that Battle Royal to see who's going to face the Miz at Battleground.
Yeah,
for the IC belt. Ugh. Weird.
I mean, I get it. I guess you got this new gimmick you want to try to get over, but I mean, even Darren Young looks surprised. Like I'm not sure if at the beginning he knew he was going to win that.
Yeah, like it was a very odd reaction from Darren Young. I mean, it made sense because it was like.
Did you see him try to give Backlund a hug? And Backlund just ran away and started doing laps around the ring. Yeah,
I saw that. Backlund's a maniac. He's a crazy person. Always has been, always will be. I love Battle Royals, man. Battle Royals are just like my favorite. So I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting and kind of telling that Darren Young didn't really do anything to like win, at least when in eliminating Cruz and Corbin. He just kind of was like just the last man in the ring while those two guys eliminated themselves or eliminated each other rather.
Like just by chance he won.
Yeah, which is kind of telling. It's like, okay, well, we don't want to make Darren Young look too strong. You know what I mean? Like he can't eliminate both of these guys like Battleground. Like we're just gonna kind of make it look like he won this on a fluke.
The way I can see him winning the title now is if Maurice is eating a banana at ringside, drops the peel on the ring, and Miz slips on it and pins himself.
That's the craziest scenario ever. I thought you were gonna go like 5 different ways on that. Her eating a banana. But that's good. Good on you. Good on you. Because I expected worse from your dirty minds. But all right.
There's always next time.
That's right. So Battleground looks pretty awesome with Darren Young challenging for the IC belt and Zack Ryder challenging for the US belt, which was just like announced again, like in a weird announced way. I didn't even know that was a build-up or that they even had beef with each other. But sure, all right, Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder went to go challenge him, got beat up by Sheamus, and then had a match with Sheamus, got beat up again, and then Rusev came out and told him, "I accept your challenge," and super accolade there.
The worst. God. Whatever. Gives Rusev somebody.
Hulu cut that out for you?
I think Hulu probably cut that out for me. So
bullshit, because as much as I like Rusev and I think he's hilarious and so talented, I'm such a Zack Ryder mark. I want the guy to be champion of something.
Yeah, for longer than like one day.
Even if he has to bring back the internet championship, I'll take it.
Yeah, I like Ryder too, man. Ryder's pretty awesome. I think he's a guy that if it wasn't for him losing so damn much and them just burying him, I would believe it. Like I would be like, okay, he like even when he won the IC belt, I was like, okay, he can have a short reign here. Little did I know it would be a 1-day short reign, but it was like, okay, like this is believable now. But he's just lost so damn much that it's not believable now. Where I'm like, ugh. Like there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell Rusev drops the belt.
Darren Young had never won a match on Raw ever.
Yeah.
Ever. The guy's been in the company for what, 5 or 6 years?
I know. Yeah, he's I don't even know what to say. He's in the bottom of the barrel. I remember like last week during our draft, Steven saying he's in the bottom of the barrel for us guys. And I was like, yeah.
I think I said I drafted Backlund before him.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Oh, so good. Oh man.
I still think I'd draft Backlund before him.
Oh yeah, Backlund looks to be in amazing shape. Crossface chicken wing.
I want Backlund to go crazy and pin the Miz.
Oh my God, can you imagine Backlund, the new IC champ? Hey man, everybody thought it was crazy when he beat Bret Hart back in like '94 or something. I don't know. Probably wasn't
I
that
thought
late.
that guy was fucking old then.
I know. Yeah, it wasn't '94. I don't think it was probably earlier than that. 92 maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
91. I don't know. God, no, it wasn't 91. 92. 93. God, I don't know. We're so close. Anyway, that's about it I have on Raw. Anything else stick out on Raw for you? Because not really.
No,
I thought it was a
really.
good. I thought it was a good Raw. I like I said, I love the Rollins report and the Ambrose stuff. The Wyatt's New Day stuff was like entertaining, but I just don't think it was like done to its potential. And then the announcement of
nothing that the Wyatts has ever done to its potential.
No, never. It's too bad. Not until you and I get in the old writer's room.
They won't let me in. I don't have a college degree.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
You can forge mine because I'm really using it nowadays. Anyway, that's about it, man. Let's see. We covered Raw, CWC, Finn. Yeah, we got everything. We good.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to Raw and SmackDown next week. I'm really looking forward to NXT again next week and the Cruiserweight Classic.
The draft is happening.
Oh
my God!
Yeah.
The next time you and I speak, we will be telling everybody who's on separate rosters. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
it is crazy.
I'm gonna have a pad and a pen on Tuesday, like trying to keep track of it.
I think it'll probably be on the interwebs.
Oh, on the internet. Oh, that's new.
Ever heard of it? Oh man. All right. Well, let's wrap this bad boy up then. Oh boy. Plugs once again. Everybody, all the listeners, check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Podbean, smartandmark.com, all that stuff. On the old iTunes, Stitcher, all those outlets, all you got to do is search ISR2M and you'll find us. Yeah, rate, review, give us, I hate when people ask for like 5-star reviews. If you think we're a 4-star show, hey, give us a 4-star review. I don't care. Let's be honest here. Let's do the old honor system. I mean, I'd love a 5-star review, but we'll see how it goes. Rate, review, share, all this stuff. Tell your friends. Let everybody know. Another thing, I don't plug this hardly ever. I don't think I've ever plugged this, but go to my YouTube channel too. It's just search John Kuchar on there. You'll see some cool unboxings.
He's a handsome man, folks. He's a handsome man.
Well, I don't know about that, but we'll see. Thank you. Appreciate it. I got rid of the beard, by the way.
I saw that, and you shaved.
I trimmed it. Yeah, I trimmed it down a little bit, so it looked crazy.
I'm starting to look homeless again, so
yeah. Nice. All right, man. Well, hey, Harmonious, thank you so much for joining me again, and peace out, y'all.
Bye.